So I want to talk about yesterday's This Week in Destiny blog post that Bungie just put out because they're introducing a new system in the portal called Orders, which basically amounts to a bounty reskin or bounty rework just within the portal. I'll get into the details of this upcoming system and what I like and don't like about it, but overall, just a brief overview, it feels like a little bit of a weird change because Bungie seems to be doubling down on the portal with this update by basically introducing portal bounties, but it also feels like a little bit of a half measure in that direction because they're removing some bounties from some vendors, but not all bounties across the board. So it's really weird, and we'll get into it in just a moment, but first allow me to introduce myself. My name is dankke and welcome back to another YouTube video. I am trying to hit 1,500 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you enjoy this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below, but let's get into the discussion. So first, to give a brief overview on this change, let's go over what's coming with the system. So Bungie is reworking the seasonal hub menu, which right now only features the daily and weekly objectives as well as the weekly reward track, but they're adding an extra system called Orders, which amounts to bounties basically in the portal. It's not clear if these are daily bounties or if it will continue to refresh as you complete them, but you'll basically get basic, objectives to complete while you're playing the game, while you're playing the portal, and as you complete them, you'll get bright dust and experience as a reward. Supposedly, there's supposed to be some type of system in the background that will adjust these orders based on your loadout. So I would assume, if you have a solar subclass equipped, it might ask you for solar ability kills. They're also making it so if you're playing with another guardian with a fire team, let's say you have the objective to get hand cannon kills and your teammate is getting hand cannon kills, it'll go towards your order. So this is, I think, a good change because, in the past with other bounties you would have to complete, you would compete with your teammates because you would need hand cannon kills and then they would need like scout rifle kills or something. And, you would both be competing for each other to get the kills so that you can complete your bounty. But now it's saying, don't worry about it. If your teammates getting hand cannon kills, you're getting your objective completed. So I think that's good. And Crucible's getting this really interesting change where they're making it so as you complete a Crucible match, it'll just auto-complete a couple of the orders, even if I would assume it doesn't match what you're doing in the game mode. I do wonder if this could be exploited through custom Crucible matches, because as you know, right now you can farm for things like catalysts or, complete bounties within custom made Crucible matches. So I wonder if you could also get your active orders done in custom games, but I don't know if that would be the case because these active orders seem to be like portal exclusives. So you would need to complete these objectives in portal activities. Like you couldn't go to the Pale Heart or whatever and get scout rifle kills and it would count towards these orders, I don't think. We'll have to see how that turns out, whether you could exploit custom games for that. And there's also going to be legendary and exotic orders where as you complete your portal bounties, it'll work towards this meter below, which will fill up and it'll give you some legendary orders, which will give you bonus bright dust. And if you complete enough legendary orders, it'll give you exotic orders, which will give you even more bright dust. And as you see down here, Bungie poses the question, are bounties gone? And basically, no, not all of them. Only Banshee, Failsafe, and Devrim will no longer offer bounties, but other destinations will still offer bounties like, Varix or Petra, Finch in the Throne World will still offer bounties. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to go over before I give my thoughts and feelings is if you're a returning player, you're going to get bonus rewards from this system. So if you didn't log in for a season, or if you got less than 30 ranks in your season pass in a season, the next season you will get a returner's boon, which will give you better experience gains for 6 months, as well as more rewards from the boon system. So you'll get like enhancement materials, tier 4 and 3 gear, exotic engrams, bright dust, stuff like that, if you are a returning player and you haven't played in a while. Okay, so now my thoughts on these changes. Like I said, this is Bungie, I think, almost doubling down on the portal system. I doubt that these bounties are going to be completable outside of the portal. So if I wanted to go to the Pale Heart, if I wanted to go to Europa, if I wanted to go to the Dreaming City and complete these orders, I don't think I'll be able to do that. And so this is once again Bungie kind of funneling people into the portal system. Log into your Netflix menu, click your activity, load into some Fireteam ops and complete them. The portal is still a major pain point with the community, even after the recent changes they made, which makes the power grind a lot easier within the portal. I think the overall system, the feeling of the portal, it still bothers a lot of players, including myself. You know, the portal is a bit of a soulless version of the previous 10 years of Destiny we had, where you no longer have the destination screen, you no longer get to explore vast worlds outside of Kepler, I guess. It just feels like Bungie is doubling down on this system, which a lot of players don't like. But at the same time, you know, when you look at Bungie is removing bounties on only some vendors, but not all the vendors, it feels like a half measure. Like, it feels like Bungie is scared to go all the way into the portal. I'm a bit conflicted on, right? Because I don't like the portal and, you know, I would rather we move away from the portal. But I also feel like if Bungie wants to commit to the portal, they should just go all in. You know what I mean? Like, try to make it work as best as possible instead of only removing some bounties and not all of them. And I think this goes into the problem of, you know, bounty prepping every single season, where if there's a new raid coming out or dungeon, players will go and collect bounties from all the vendors, stock them up, and then they'll turn them in the next season. You know, I bounty prep whenever there's a new raid coming up, but I hate bounty prepping. I do not like bounty prepping. And the only reason I do it is because I feel like I'm losing out on a potential advantage I have for a raid race by losing out on, you know, artifact perks and stuff like that. This system, I feel like, could have been a way to address the problem of bounty prepping, where a lot of players don't like it, but we do it for the advantage in the raid race. But now they're not fully committing to this system. So bounty prepping is still going to be a thing, because you can still go to all the destinations that bounties aren't removed from, and you can still go stock up on those bounties. But it just feels like a missed opportunity to like fix that problem of bounty prepping. But, you know, Bungie didn't commit all the way into the system, and now we're in this weird limbo where bounties are still a thing, but they also aren't still a thing. Bungie's also doubling down on the portal through this order system, but they're also weirdly not, because you can still go outside the portal and complete bounties. It's kind of weird. Second, going over, I guess, the Bright Dust payouts, there was a bit of criticism at the beginning of Edge of Fate where, you know, players felt like they didn't have good access to Bright Dust because certain sources of Bright Dust, like I think repeatable bounties, don't give you Bright Dust anymore, and also the Pathfinder system was removed. So Bungie said, we're going to add a system to get you Bright Dust, and, you know, that's what they're doing with the order system, where common orders will give you 10 Bright Dust, legendary will give you 100, and exotic will give you 200, up to a certain cap. So common and legendary have a 1000 Bright Dust cap per week, and the exotic orders have a 6000 Bright Dust cap for the season, and this is replacing the Bright Dust reward you get at the end of the seasonal challenges. So if you complete all the seasonal challenges for a season, you get like a big Bright Dust payout, but they're removing that in favor of the new exotic orders. I don't think they're removing seasonal challenges, but they're just removing the Bright Dust reward. And so it's a bit of a weird thing. We'll have to see how the grind pays out. Like, how many active orders do you need to complete to get a legendary order? And is it like a super tedious, annoying grind to get the same amount of Bright Dust we were getting before at the same rate? Or is it going to be pretty generous? We'll have to see. You know, I think 10 per order is a bit, you know, it's a bit on the light side, but I guess that's what repeatable bounties gave you. So it's not like it's going away from the norm, but we'll have to see. You know, Bungie is pretty stingy when it comes to Eververse stuff. So we'll have to see if they've nerfed Bright Dust gains compared to how it was before with this new system. Overall, just to give a brief overview of my thoughts and feelings, once again, I don't hate this change overall. I think it's fine that Bungie wants to rework bounties in a way to be a little bit less tedious and annoying, having to go to each vendor every time to collect a bounty, but they didn't fully commit to this change in the system. And there's still bounties outside of the portal, which you can go use the bounty prep per season, which I think was a big mistake from Bungie. If they really want to double down on the portal through adding portal bounties like this, they should just fully commit to the system, right? If you want to make the portal a game, just make the portal the game. Don't try to half measure this to try to please everybody. If you're gonna do it, just do it. You know, if this is the direction Bungie wants to go with Destiny, whether it's healthy for the future of the game, if you're gonna do it, just do it, right? I'm tired of the half measures, okay? Fully commit, Bungie. Ultimately, I just want bounty prepping to go away. So if this is the replacement, just fully commit to it, okay? Okay, Bungie? But yeah, that's all for me, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button and the subscribe button down below. But that's all for me, and peace out.